Balogun transfer battle heats up. Arsenal wants to cash in for Folarin Balogun, and guess what? This is good news to the music. So this is music to the ears of Mikel Arteta and Edu on what is happening right about now. It's all about very many teams lining up for Balogun, and here I come to obviously let you know which teams have gone ahead to line up for Balogun. Luciano Spalletti named the new manager for the Italian national team, that is the Azzurri. What does it mean for Roberto Mancini, who has been sacked? And lastly, what do you make? We are going to discuss a little bit about Pep Guardiola having his say about the teams, the money that is being thrown into Saudi Arabia. So smash the like button close to 400 times. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as don't miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily by clicking the notification bell after subscribing. And remember, I want to hit 17,000 subscribers before the end of this year. Before the end of this month. Now, let's start it off with Balogun. The first team that showed concrete interest in Balogun was Inter Milan. Inter Milan put in a bid of £35 million and Arsenal rejected it. Arsenal was calling in for £50 million. Inter Milan wanted to work out something to it that maybe Arsenal gets them Tomiyasu and Balogun. Then Arsenal gets Barella and add-on some money. Arsenal said that's not a deal worth it, because if we are valuing if you're valuing Balogun £50 million, we also value Tomiyasu something like £30 million. That is £80 million. Yet Barella is valued at €70 million. That's like £60 million, meaning that was really nothing next to good at Arsenal. So they pulled out of that. So that's how Inter Milan pulled out of this deal, and they went ahead to sign Arnautovic as their center forward of this summer. Remember, they've had a very bad spell after not having Romelu Lukaku. They even went ahead and obviously said bad words towards Romelu Lukaku after Romelu Lukaku agreed a deal with Juventus, but he's still sterling and he has not gone ahead to really leave. Now, after that, Monaco came in through, put in a bid of £40 million, rejected by Arsenal. But now there are three teams that are interested in the player, and the first one that I'm going to bring to you is this team. Fulham have stepped up their interest in Folarin Balogun, but remain 10 million short of Arsenal's £45 million valuation. Arsenal have initially wanted £50 million before lowering their price tag. However, Fulham are only willing to pay £35 million. So Fulham is in the mix to sign Folarin Balogun. They are 10 million pounds short. Remember, they want to front 35, Arsenal want 45. That is it. Then the other team is all about in London. Can an Arsenal player cross from Arsenal to their would-be rivalry or rivals, Tottenham Hotspur? Because this source is coming in from a very good source at Arsenal. Team News Antics has confirmed to us that Tottenham Hotspur have made an inquiry for Folarin Balogun. However, Arsenal quoted a fee significantly higher than what they have been quoting other clubs for the player, meaning that Spurs have been told more than £50 million, because that's what Arsenal has been calling in for the signing of this player, meaning they've gone ahead to ask in for more as far as this is really concerned. So that is something great, and Arsenal cannot really allow Balogun to go to Tottenham Hotspur. So those are now two teams I've gone ahead to let you know about: Fulham and Tottenham Hotspur. And for Tottenham, you don't see this player go that side because it's rare for an Arsenal player to cross to that side. And the last time we saw a player cross from either side to the other side was, I think, Sol Campbell. Not so. Sol Campbell crossed from Tottenham Hotspur as a free agent and signed for Arsenal. And Tottenham Hotspur fans felt betrayed by Sol Campbell, the former Invisible. That is it. So Spurs is also in the queue, and there is another team that has gone ahead to show interest in Folarin Balogun that is in London. That is none other than Chelsea. And Demeth of Sky Sports has confirmed us that told Chelsea interested in Arsenal striker Folarin Balogun. No formal bid, but interest is real. Monaco still pushing and expected to pay and expected to back in with improved bid. To be back with improved bid. That is it. Now, the interest of Chelsea is also going to have to be confirmed by the secret scouts that Chelsea have held discussions with representatives of Folarin Balogun in the last 24 hours. The player currently has an offer from Monaco with a decision on his future likely to be made next week. Now, Balogun is the subject matter to be discussed in all this. He's a very good player, and he has gone ahead to show us that he's really good, having had a very good debut season in the League One. Very many teams are really up for him. Arsenal want close to between 45 to 50 million pounds, and teams are not willing to offer that amount of money for this player. Remember, he's 22, 23 years of age. That is Balogun. And Arsenal looking at this deal, see to it that they're obviously getting the next players they want. These next 2 days are going to be so much crucial at Arsenal because huge movement is going to be seen at Arsenal for players like Sambi Albert Lokonga, for players like Balogun, for players like which guy? Kien Hieni, Nicolas Pepe, Cedric Soares, because they need to obviously do some huge movement about those players, and we must see them really leave, because for Arsenal to sign players they want, they need to sell to buy. That is it. For them not to really violate the financial fair play rule. So that is all about Balogun, and Chelsea is interested in the player. Remember, Chelsea have gone ahead to obviously lose Nkunku for some good weeks, right? And he's out, so they're only having Nicholas Jackson as a center forward. Lukaku is not in the plan of the manager, so they are really looking out for an option, and the option is all about Balogun. And Arsenal and Chelsea have been doing some good business together. Arsenal got Jorginho from Chelsea in the January of this year. Then they ended up getting which guy? They ended up getting Kai Havertz for 67 million pounds. So I think they can really have a very good landing or soft ground for their negotiations to obviously go on as planned. Now, let's leave at that, and let us leave that at that, and let's go to Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola was asked about what he thinks about the Saudi League, because he has just escaped losing his goalkeeper to that side, and Bernardo Silva. He has said everyone complains about Saudi Arabia, but when Saudi Arabia knocks on the door, all clubs open the door. Red carpet. They say, "What do you want, my friend? I'll sell everything." So happy. Complain for everything, but everyone opens the door. So this is very, very brilliant, and it's the profoundness in the words of Pep Guardiola. Which team has ever gone ahead to say no to this side? I think it's only Man City. Laporte, I think the only player of Man City that's going to go ahead and play for Saudi Arabia, but they said no for Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva was given a deal of 120 million euros per year, and Man City straight went in and gave him a new deal, and he has gone ahead to agree it. Then the other is Ederson. They are linked to Ederson, and Ederson said no. Kyle Walker was also wanted by Saudi Arabia teams, but Man City rejected. But every team has always wanted to sell a player that side. Arsenal, having rejected Thomas Partey to go that side, they wanted to sell Nicolas Pepe that side. Manchester United, they wanted to sell Fred. Alex Telles is already there. Eric Bay the negotiations didn't go as expected. That's why he has not yet gone that side. So to me, I would love to let you know that it's one of those deals that have come in through uncertain teams like Chelsea. Mitrovic wants to go that side because of the money, So that is the big factor. That if teams knock on the door, why don't they say no? They are criticizing the team, but they obviously come out and obviously don't say no to that. So I really want to understand that it's obviously one of those deals that you obviously go ahead and obviously want. If at all you have players that you want to move on, like Chelsea, they went ahead and sold close to 3 players that side. Eduardo Mendy, this Senegalese captain, Khalidou Koulibaly, right? They sold their 2 players. They wanted to sell Ziyech, but Ziyech failed the medical. That is it. Now, let's obviously close it off with Luciano Spalletti being named as the new manager. Now, Luciano Spalletti has been appointed as new Italian national team head coach on contract until 2026. Spalletti will replace Roberto Mancini with immediate effect. Now, Roberto Mancini, having won the Euros for Italy, he led this team to miss out on the World Cup. Very much reason that's what we're going to hit. Obviously, see this man really sucked, and they are really trying to play the qualifiers for the Euros. And they believe that Luciano Spalletti, having led a team of a team of Napoli to lifting their first Scudetto in very many years, I think like 30 years, because they last won it with Maradona the led. It shows you that it has come to our know that Mancini is now jobless, but I think he can find himself going to Saudi Arabia or any other teams there, because he believes that lots of things can happen. Maybe he can come to the Premier League, and he has to wait, because in the Premier League some managers might get sacked and he might get an opportunity to return, having won a Premier League for Man City. So that is it. Italian manager Spalletti comes in through with a very huge bulk of work ahead of him, as he needs to obviously build a new Italian team to obviously compete to go in the Euros and defend the Euros that are going to be played in Germany next year, and find themselves in a position of going to the World Cup in 2026. So that is it for now, and I've called in for your thoughts on Balogun transfer battle heating up. Where do you think Balogun is going to go? Because this transfer is heating up day in, day out. And lastly, what do you make about Pep Guardiola talking about the Saudi money, that not him is failing to close the door? I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover all the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Rokani David remains my name. My most viewers and subscribers. Barak Lau Fikum. Ciao, ciao.